welcome back. My name is Sparks and this is Gamemode 4, the series where we make command block modules that change and modify the gameplay experience. So today's module is this Sunken treasure module, which I worked on with Wumpacraft in last week's live stream. You can get this code from the Gamemode 4 website, accidentalgames.com/Gamemode4, and paste it into a command block and push a button to insert it into your Minecraft world. For some reason, and I need to talk to Gentle Giant about this, the clock does not start on this module when you import it. So you need to, and this will be available in the description and the site, paste and run this command as well. This is just setting a redstone block in the right place to restart the clock. So you'll probably get a redstone block appear, but now that clock is started and we're ready to go. Okay, so today's module, let's get started. Basically, the Sunken treasure module allows you to use fortune tools to dig up sand underwater and get delicious items from them. So if we grab ourselves a fortune 3 shovel, the different levels of fortune will increase or decrease your chance of getting a goodie item. So there's a 1 in 20 chance with fortune 1, a 3 in 20 chance with fortune 2, and a 5 in 20 chance with fortune 3. So I've got fortune 3 here. We've got respiration helmet and stuff like that. Let me quickly go into game mode 0 and you'll see that if I start mining this sand, and it's important that you're underwater when you do this, we will eventually see that there's a bone. Okay, bones are very common items. I'll go over all the items in a moment. There's a message in a bottle as well. There are 20 types of message in a bottle and they all have different messages. So dearest Audrey, they all start with Dearest Audrey. The live stream did a brilliant job of coming up with these. Each day that passes is immensely terrible, painful and sad. Getting away from you just didn't improve anything. There's seaweed, there's a couple of items, and they will randomly spawn as you go through. You can get enchanted boots, and they've got different percentage chance of spawning as well. So there are some very rare items like sponge or gold ingots. Occasionally squid or guardian can be spawned. There's a squid. So it's pretty sweet. I'm quite happy with it. And let's go take a look at the items. So if you're pausing the video, you can see this is the number. There's the clock that cycles between 1 and 200. Up here is the percentage chance. So bones have a 20% chance of spawning. We've got leather boots. We have message in the bottles. There are 20 of these. There's a 10% chance you'll get a bottle, and there is a 0.5% chance of any particular bottle appearing. So we have 2 bottles here actually from that. I'm not going to read them all out here. You can download the module and search for all 20, try and collect them. Or I've been requested by Wumpacraft to create a separate video with smooth jazz backing where I softly read out all of the Dearest Audrey messages. So I will probably do that sometime because I think that's quite funny. We've got the prismarine shards and crystals at 5% each. We've got the XP bottles that have a chance of appearing, gold ingots, guardians, sponges. This is seaweed, so it's tall grass, but it's been renamed seaweed. There's a treasure chest which has got some goodies in it. It's really rare. There's a 0.5% chance of getting it, but there is some nice stuff inside. And there are waders, which are Depth Strider 1 boots. You can combine those with an anvil. It would take, 4 of them to make Depth Strider 3? I think so. You can get squid and you can get mossy cobblestone. So those are the items, those are the percentage chances, and the different fortune levels affect how it works. Okay, so this module is very repetitive, but fairly simple in the way that the command blocks work. So I'm actually going to go over this today. So first of all, we've got our traditional fill clock, which is just setting all of these as redstone blocks. This down here is actually filling this entire square with stained clay, replacing redstone blocks. So that way, that's sort of doing all the clocks. Okay, so first things first, we are doing some more filling. What is that? Oh, that's the execute. Okay, so there are 2 scoreboards we're using here. Scoreboard objective set to this sidebar. The first one is some of these are left over from the last video. Sorry, sand mined, which goes up to 1 if somebody mines some sand. And then there is, more importantly and more interestingly, sand fortune. You can see there are 3 items currently in here. One is me. The 3, it means that I have a fortune 3 shovel in my hand. If I was to take it out of my hand and mine some sand, my number will change to 0 because I have no fortune tool in my hand. So the other two are randomizers. So the first one, the lower one, which is cycling between 1 and 20, is counting whether or not we should get an item of some kind. So that goes between 1 and 20, and we're basically working out whether we should get it in a next section. So these command blocks here are simply adding 1 to both those command blocks. The top one is counting between 1 and 200, and that determines which item you get, if you get an item. And that's just cycling through and setting them back to 1 if they reach their max. If a player is found with a sand mine score of 1, meaning they've mined some sand, then this armor stand here set blocks this line here with redstone once. And this then triggers a load of stuff. So this is now going to start working out what kind of fortune level we have in our hands. So first it sets our fortune to 0, and then it basically goes through all of the possible enchantment levels. So this is setting all players to have a fortune score of 1 if they're holding a fortune 1 enchanted item in their selected item slot. And then this one and this one are doing the same thing for fortune 2 and 3. After that, we are adding 10 to anybody with a fortune score of 1 or more if the sand fortune, that's the second of the two randomizers there, has a number relevant. So if it's between 1 and 1, then fortune 1 players will get it. If it's between 1 and 3, fortune 2 players will get it. And if it's between 1 and 5, then fortune 3 players will get a score of 10, or 10 added to their score. After that, that's done in 3 times as well. We check that they're underwater. So this only works if you're underwater. So we basically do a very long nested execute detect, which checks for 3 water blocks. So you have to have water at your feet, at your head, and 4 blocks above your feet. So water has to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4 this deep for you to actually get items from sand. If I mine this sand out on the surface, like so, I will only ever get sand from this, even though I have a fortune 3 shovel, because you have to be underwater. It's sunken treasure. So Wumpa wanted to make oceans more interesting and useful, and I think that's a good thing to aim for. So that's what we're doing. After that, we basically, once we've worked out what sort of whether they should get an item or not, which is all of that, we then use this command block here to set all of this stained clay, all of this, which is 2 deep all the way along here with a redstone block, and each of these is just a different recipe. So for example, this one here is a gold ingot, so it's basically executing on the sand rand armor score if this score is between 91 and 95. This is how I change the percentage chance. So if it's between 91 and 95, i.e. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 5 possible numbers, or out of 200, that is 2.5%, then it will change the sand block at your location to a gold ingot. Now the way that this also works is to stop people having a sand block on the floor and then mining some sand. When sand is first spawned, it is given a score of 15, and a tick later its score is deleted. So that way only freshly broken sand, broken by people with a fortune score of some kind, will be able to turn into an item, and that way we stop people from exploiting it. And I think that's basically it. Thank you very much as always for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely download this module and have a play with it by going to Gamemode 4/accidentalgames via the video description to get the module download stuff. Huge thank you to Wumpacraft for joining me and making this module last weekend. Had a lot of fun. He seemed to enjoy himself as well, and I think we did a great job with this. And also a thank you to Stuff Your Face for making all of the Dearest Audreys into bottle messages for me. There will be links to Wumpacraft's channel in the video description. I encourage you to check him out. He does great redstone stuff, a lot of concept stuff, and Stuff Your Face's link is also in the video description. He does building, I believe. I don't know him too well, but Yes, that's great. So, thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.